The Four Seasons lobby gleams with morning light. Victoria Ashford stands near the windows in her pressed Chanel suit, laughing with two German investors. A black man in a navy polo shirt approaches, carrying a leather portfolio. Ms. Ashford, Darian Cole. We have a 9 o'clock meeting about the Series C investment. He extends his hand. Victoria stares at his outstretched hand like it's contaminated. She takes a step back, keeping both hands in her pockets. Excuse me? Who let you in here? Her voice drips with disgust. The German investors stop talking. This is a private meeting for serious investors, not for people like you. She looks him up and down. Security! Get this man out of here before I call the police. Darian lowers his hand slowly. Ms. Ashford, if you'd just check. I said get out, now, before I have you arrested for trespassing. Two security guards rush over. Phones emerge from purses. Someone starts recording. Within minutes, Darian walks out, head high. Victoria turns back to her guests, brushing imaginary dirt from her sleeve. She has no idea she just destroyed the only investor willing to save her dying company. 3 months earlier, Ashford Technologies was worth $800 million. Today, the number on the balance sheet makes Victoria's hands shake every time she looks at it. The company burns through $8 million every month. The bank account holds enough cash for 11 more weeks. After that, bankruptcy. Victoria sits in her corner office on the 42nd floor. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, San Francisco Bay stretches blue and indifferent. She's made this view her entire identity. Stanford MBA, Fortune 40 under 40, TechCrunch's most promising founder 2 years running. Her father built a banking empire in the 80s. Her mother sits on 4 boards. Victoria grew up in Pacific Heights, summered in the Hamptons, and never once worried about money until now. She pitched to 23 investors in 8 months. Every single one said no. Too arrogant, one wrote in an email that got leaked. Doesn't listen to feedback, said another. Red flags about company culture, said a third. Victoria deleted those emails. She told herself they didn't understand vision. But the cash keeps draining. And there's only one name left on her list. Across the country, in a penthouse apartment overlooking Manhattan, Darian Cole pours his morning coffee. The apartment is minimalist. White walls, clean lines, a wall of screens showing global markets in real time. He grew up in South Chicago. His mother worked double shifts as a nurse. He wore secondhand clothes and studied by streetlight when the electricity got cut off. Full scholarship to MIT, computer science and economics. At 24, he built an algorithm that could predict financial risk better than any human analyst. Goldman Sachs bought his startup for $780 million when he was 26. Now, at 38, he runs Cole Ventures. $3.8 billion in assets, 47 investments. 43 succeeded, 4 failed. The Wall Street Journal calls him the most successful investor you've never heard of. He doesn't wear suits. Never has. It's a test he runs on every potential partner. He wants to see if people respect his ideas or just his bank account. This morning, his video screen shows 3 faces: his analyst Maya, his CFO James, and his assistant Priya. Boss, I finished the Ashford Technologies deep dive. Maya's voice crackles through the speakers. The tech is solid, the financials are a disaster, and Victoria Ashford has a reputation problem. Define reputation problem. Darian sips his coffee. It's still too hot. He sets it down. Difficult to work with is the nice version. I found 3 anonymous Glassdoor reviews from former employees, all people of color, all describing microaggressions and being passed over for promotions. James leans into his camera. If you invest, we're going all in. $500 million. That's massive exposure for an unproven leader. Which is why I need to meet her in person. Darian picks up his coffee again. It's cooled to a perfect temperature. Numbers can lie. People can't. Not face to face. Priya checks her tablet. I confirmed the meeting 3 weeks ago. 9 a.m., Four Seasons lobby. Her assistant replied, quote, Ms. Ashford looks forward to meeting Mr. Cole. Did you send my photo? I sent your full bio, Forbes profile, company overview, everything. Darian nods. Good. Then she knows who she's meeting. But here's what he doesn't know. Victoria never reads her meeting briefs. She has an assistant for that. She just glances at 9 a.m. investor meeting and assumes they'll be grateful for her time. She definitely didn't Google Darian Cole. If she had, she would have found 47 articles. She would have seen his Forbes 400 ranking. She would have learned about his philosophy of casual dress. She would have read his Fortune interview where he said, I dress down on purpose. I want to see if people respect me for my ideas or judge me by my clothes. But Victoria doesn't Google. Victoria assumes. And that assumption is about to cost her everything. At 8:45, Darian leaves his apartment. The morning air is crisp. His Uber is already waiting. At 8:50, Victoria is in the Four Seasons lobby, charming two German investors who already told her no last week. She thinks they might change their minds. They won't. But she's about to meet someone who could actually save her company. If only she'd recognize him when he walked through the door. Darian's Uber pulls up to the Four Seasons at 9:05. Traffic on Market Street was worse than usual. He texts Priya, running 5 min late. Let Victoria's office know. She replies immediately, already did. You're good. He steps into the lobby. The air conditioning hits him first, that particular hotel cold that smells like expensive flowers and furniture polish. His polo shirt is navy blue, freshly pressed. His khakis have a sharp crease. His white sneakers are spotless. He's dressed exactly how he always dresses for first meetings. Comfortable, authentic, real. Across the lobby, Victoria throws her head back, laughing at something one of the German investors said. She's wearing a cream Chanel suit that probably cost $6,000. Her diamond earrings catch the light every time she moves. Her hair is pulled back so tight it looks painful. The two Germans aren't laughing with her. They're checking their watches. They have a flight to catch. Darian walks toward them. His leather portfolio is tucked under his arm. He's rehearsed this moment. Firm handshake, warm smile. Thank you for taking the time to meet. Ms. Ashford. She turns. Her eyes land on him. Her smile doesn't just fade. It transforms into something else entirely. She looks at his polo shirt, then his khakis, then his sneakers. Her gaze travels back up to his face, and her lip actually curls. Can I help you? It's not a friendly question. It's the tone you'd use on someone who knocked on your door selling something you don't want. Darian Cole. He extends his hand, smiling. We have a 9 o'clock meeting about the Series C investment for Ashford Technologies. Victoria looks at his outstretched hand. She doesn't move. Her hands stay clasped in front of her designer purse. Cole Ventures, right? He tries to keep his voice warm. My assistant Priya confirmed with your office 3 weeks ago. Cole Ventures. Victoria repeats the name like she's tasting something spoiled. I've never heard of it. One of the German investors, a man with silver hair and wire-rimmed glasses, clears his throat. Victoria, perhaps we should... She holds up one manicured finger. Wait. Listen. Victoria takes a step closer to Darian. Close enough that he can smell her perfume. Something floral and expensive. I don't know how you got the address for this meeting, but this is invitation only. I was invited. Darian keeps his hand extended. If there's confusion, you can call your assistant. Jenny, right? She confirmed last Tuesday. What I can see, Victoria's voice gets louder, is that you showed up to a business meeting dressed like you're going to a barbecue. The German investors exchange glances. The silver-haired man whispers to his colleague in German, Das ist unangenehm. This is uncomfortable. Ms. Ashford, Darian lowers his hand slowly. I understand this is unexpected, but... Unexpected? Victoria laughs. It's not a happy sound. What's unexpected is someone like you thinking you can just walk into a meeting with serious investors. Someone like you. The words hang in the air. A woman sitting on a nearby couch looks up from her phone. A concierge behind the desk stops typing. Darian feels the familiar weight settling in his chest. He's felt it before. At MIT, when a professor assumed he was in the wrong classroom. At a restaurant in Boston, when the host asked if he was there to apply for a kitchen job. At a conference last year, when someone asked him to grab them a coffee. He keeps his voice level. I flew in from New York specifically for this meeting. If you'd just let me show you my credentials. Your credentials? Victoria's voice drips with contempt. You mean whatever fake business card you printed at Staples? She turns to the security desk. Excuse me, can someone help me here? Two guards start walking over. One is the older black man, Jerome. His face shows exactly how much he doesn't want to do this. The other is younger, white, with a military haircut. Darian tries one more time. Ms. Ashford, there's clearly been a miscommunication. I'm a managing partner at Cole Ventures. We manage $3.8 billion in assets. We spoke with your CFO last month about potential investment terms. $3.8 billion. Victoria actually laughs. Right. And I'm the Queen of England. She looks him up and down again, slow and deliberate, making sure everyone watching can see her judgment. Let me guess. You saw the article about our funding round in TechCrunch. You thought you'd show up, talk your way into a meeting, maybe network your way into something? The German investor tries again. Victoria, perhaps... No. Victoria cuts him off. This is exactly the kind of opportunist we have to watch out for in this industry. She finally looks directly at Darian's face. I don't know what you're trying to pull, but I don't shake hands with people who lie their way into private meetings. And I definitely don't do business with people who can't even dress appropriately. The security guards arrive. Jerome looks at Darian with apologetic eyes. The younger guard puts his hand near his belt, where his radio is clipped. Ma'am? The young guard's voice is all business. Is there a problem? Yes. Victoria points at Darian like she's pointing at trash on the sidewalk. This man is disrupting a private business meeting. He's not on any guest list. He's not invited. And he needs to leave immediately. Darian takes a slow breath. He could pull out his phone right now. He could show her his Forbes profile. He could call his CFO and have James verify everything. But he doesn't. Because this moment tells him everything he needs to know about Victoria Ashford. She didn't see a potential investor. She didn't see a businessman. She didn't even see a person who deserved basic courtesy. She saw a black man in casual clothes and decided instantly that he didn't belong. I'll leave. Darian's voice is quiet, calm. No need for an escort. He looks at Jerome. I can find my way out. But Victoria isn't done. Oh, you'll be escorted. I want to make sure you actually leave the premises and don't try to sneak into other meetings. She turns to the young guard. Walk him all the way to the street. Make sure he doesn't come back. The guard nods. Yes, ma'am. Sir, if you'll come with me. The walk to the door feels like a mile. Every eye in the lobby is watching. The woman on the couch is definitely recording on her phone. The concierge has stopped pretending to work. Darian keeps his head up. His steps are measured, professional. Jerome walks beside him, not touching him, giving him space. At the door, Jerome leans in close. Sir, he whispers, I'm real sorry about this. You're doing your job. Darian gives him a small nod. I understand. Outside, the San Francisco morning is bright and cold. Darian stands on the sidewalk for a moment, letting his heart rate settle. His phone buzzes. Priya. Boss, what happened? Victoria's assistant just called saying you left? Change of plans. Cancel the LA meeting this afternoon. Book me on the next flight back to New York. But the 500 million? Priya. His voice is gentle but firm. I just got my answer. Book the flight. Inside the lobby, Victoria smooths her suit jacket and turns back to the German investors with a brilliant smile. I am so sorry about that interruption. You would not believe how many scammers try to crash these events. The silver-haired German doesn't smile back. Victoria, that seemed harsh. Harsh? Victoria waves her hand dismissively. Klaus, you have to be firm with these people. Otherwise, they think they can take advantage. The other German is already standing, picking up his briefcase. We should go. Our flight. But we haven't finished. We finished last week, Victoria. Klaus's voice is cold. We told you no. We only stopped by to be polite. They shake her hand quickly, professionally, and leave. Victoria stands alone in the lobby watching them go. A small frown crosses her face. Then she shrugs, pulls out her phone, and texts her assistant. That investor who just left, Cole something. Make sure his information is deleted from our system. Don't want his type thinking they can waste our time again. She has no idea that his type is the only person who is actually going to save her company. And in less than 3 hours, she's going to find out exactly who Darian Cole is. 10:30 in the morning. Victoria's office on the 42nd floor. She's already forgotten about Darian Cole. Her assistant Jenny knocks and enters, holding a tablet. Her face looks pale. Ms. Ashford, I need to ask you something. Victoria doesn't look up from her laptop. Make it quick. I have a call with the board in 20 minutes. The man at the Four Seasons this morning, the one security escorted out. What about him? You told me to delete his information from our system, but I wanted to confirm first. That was Darian Cole, right? From Cole Ventures? Victoria's fingers stop typing. So? Ms. Ashford. Jenny's voice shakes slightly. Did you Google him? Something cold forms in Victoria's stomach. Why would I need to Google some random guy trying to crash my meeting? Jenny sets the tablet on Victoria's desk. The screen shows a Forbes article. The headline reads, Darian Cole, the billionaire investor you've never heard of. Victoria stares at the photo. Same face, same calm expression, same person she had thrown out of the hotel an hour ago. Her eyes scan the article. The words blur together at first, then snap into sharp focus. Net worth, $3.8 billion. Cole Ventures, $3.8 billion in assets under management. Forbes, 400 ranking, number 184. Track record, 47 investments, 43 successful exits. Board member, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, 6 others. Her hands start to shake. Actually shake, like she's holding something too heavy. Jenny! Her voice comes out hoarse. Tell me this is a different Darian Cole. Jenny reaches over and scrolls down. There's another photo. Darian at a tech conference standing next to Sundar Pichai. Darian shaking hands with Tim Cook. Darian on a panel at Davos. In every photo, he's wearing casual clothes. Polos. Button-downs without ties. Never a suit. Victoria's throat closes up. She tries to swallow. Can't. The meeting was confirmed 3 weeks ago, Jenny whispers. I have the emails. He was coming to discuss Series C. $500 million. 500 million. The number echoes in Victoria's head like a bell. Without that money, the company dies in 11 weeks. Sounds. Oh my God. Victoria stands up so fast her chair rolls backward and hits the window. Oh my God. Oh my God. She grabs her phone, finds Darian's number in the deleted contacts folder. Her fingers are sweating so much she has to wipe them on her skirt before she can dial. The phone rings. Once, twice, 3 times. Voicemail. Mr. Cole, this is Victoria Ashford. I believe there was a terrible misunderstanding this morning. I would love to reschedule our meeting at your earliest convenience. Please call me back. She hangs up. Immediately calls again. Voicemail. Again. Voicemail. Jenny? Victoria's voice is getting higher. Get Marcus in here. Now. Marcus Brooks, the CFO, arrives 3 minutes later. He's holding a coffee and a folder of quarterly reports. What's the emergency? Victoria shows him the Forbes article. The investor we were supposed to meet this morning, the one I had security thrown out. Marcus reads. His face goes from confused to shocked to horrified in about 10 seconds. Please tell me this is a joke. Do I look like I'm joking? Marcus sets down his coffee. Some of it sloshes over the rim onto the quarterly reports. He doesn't seem to notice. Victoria, please tell me you didn't actually have Darian Cole removed from the hotel. I didn't know who he was. He showed up dressed like a college student. He's famous for that, Marcus's voice rises. He literally wrote an op-ed about it in the Wall Street Journal. It's his whole thing. He doesn't wear suits. Everyone knows this. Victoria sinks into her chair. The leather squeaks. The sound makes her flinch. Can we fix this? Marcus pulls out his phone, starts scrolling. His jaw tightens. Cole Ventures was our only option, Victoria. We've been rejected by 23 other firms. Cole was interested because of our tech. He spent 8 months researching us. 8 months. So we apologize. We explain. He invests based on character. Marcus looks up from his phone. He said it in every interview. He doesn't care about pitch decks. He cares about leadership, about how people treat others. The words land like stones. Victoria tries Darian's number again. Voicemail. She doesn't leave a message this time. She opens her laptop. Types an email with shaking fingers. Dear Mr. Cole, I want to sincerely apologize for the confusion this morning. It was a hectic day and I failed to properly review my schedule. I would be honored to reschedule at your convenience. Our entire team is excited about the possibility of partnering with Cole Ventures. Warmest regards, Victoria Ashford. She hits send. The whoosh sound feels final. Marcus is still scrolling his phone. Oh no. What? Klaus posted something. He shows her the screen. The German investor's tweet doesn't name anyone, but it's obvious. Witnessed a shocking display of unprofessionalism at a SF meeting today. How you treat people says everything about character. # business ethics. It already has 240 retweets. Victoria's phone rings. She jumps. But it's not Darian. It's Richard, the board chairman. Victoria, I just got off the phone with Klaus. He said you threw someone out of your meeting this morning? There was a misunderstanding. He said you refused to shake the man's hand, that you called security on him, that the man was Darian Cole. Silence. Richard, I can explain. Do you understand what you've done? His voice is cold. Ice cold. We need $500 million to survive. Cole was our last option. Our only option. And you humiliated him in a hotel lobby? It was a mistake. I'm trying to reach him. Trying? Richard laughs. It's bitter. Victoria, I've worked with Cole before on another deal. When someone disrespects him, he doesn't give second chances. Ever. It's not about ego. It's about values. The line goes dead. Victoria tries Darian again. Voicemail. She emails again. Mr. Cole, I realize my behavior this morning was unacceptable. I would like the opportunity to apologize in person. Please give me a chance to explain. 1 o'clock, no response. 2 o'clock, no response. 3 o'clock. A tech blog called The Information posts an article. Sources say Victoria Ashford kicked out billionaire investor, mistook him for crasher. The article has no byline. It's sourced to someone familiar with the matter. But it has details, specific details. Victoria's phone starts ringing. Other board members, investors, her PR firm. By 4 o'clock, she's called Darian 15 times. She's sent 8 emails. She's tried messaging him on LinkedIn. Nothing. Marcus comes back to her office at 5. I reached out to James, Cole's CFO. We worked together at Goldman years ago. And? He said Darian made his decision the moment he walked out of that hotel. The investment is dead. Victoria's vision actually blurs for a second. She grips the edge of her desk. But our employees. 3,000 people will lose their jobs. Darian knows that. Marcus's voice is flat. He also knows it's not his responsibility to save a company run by someone who treated him like that. At 6 o'clock, Victoria is still in her office. The sun is setting over the bay. The sky is orange and purple, beautiful in a way that feels insulting. She pulls up Darian's interviews, starts reading. Fortune magazine 2 years ago. I dress casually to meetings on purpose. I want to see if people respect me for my ideas or judge me by my appearance. It's a filter. The ones who see past the polo shirt are the ones worth working with. Wall Street Journal. Last year. The worst thing about bias isn't the big, obvious acts. It's the thousands of small moments where someone decides you don't belong before you even open your mouth. A TechCrunch 6 months ago. I've been mistaken for catering staff, security guards, janitorial workers. Each time I learn something about the person making the assumption. Victoria closes the laptop, puts her head in her hands. He tested her, and she failed. She didn't just fail. She failed spectacularly, publicly, with witnesses recording. Her phone buzzes. Not Darian. A text from her PR person. Bloomberg is calling. They want to comment on the incident. What should I tell them? Victoria doesn't respond. At 8 o'clock, she tries calling Darian again. The line doesn't even ring this time, straight to voicemail. He blocked her number. She tries emailing from her personal account. Mr. Cole, I understand if you never want to speak to me again, but I'm begging you to consider the 3,000 employees at Ashford Technologies who have nothing to do with my terrible judgment. Please. No response. At 10, she's still in her office. The janitor knocks, asks if she's working late. She waves him away. At 11, she finally goes home. She doesn't sleep. At 2 in the morning, she's on her laptop reading everything she can find about Darian Cole. His background. His mother worked 3 jobs. His scholarship to MIT. The companies he's built. The founders he's mentored. There's a video of him speaking at a conference for black entrepreneurs. He's wearing jeans and a Stanford hoodie. He looks relaxed. Happy. The system wants you to play by rules that weren't written for you, he says in the video. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is just be yourself. Show up as you are. If they respect you, great. If they don't, you just saved yourself years of working with the wrong people. The audience applauds. Darian smiles. Victoria closes the laptop. She sits in the dark of her Pacific Heights home, surrounded by expensive furniture and art she barely looks at. She ruined everything. Not because she made a mistake. Because she revealed exactly who she is. And Darian Cole saw it clearly. Day 2. 7 in the morning. Victoria stands in the lobby of Cole Ventures headquarters in Manhattan. She's wearing yesterday's cream Chanel suit. It's wrinkled. There's a coffee stain on the sleeve she couldn't get out in the airplane bathroom. The red eye from San Francisco was 6 hours of staring at the seat in front of her. No sleep, just the flight tracker counting down miles. Cole Ventures is 40 stories of glass and steel. The lobby has white marble floors that echo every footstep. Modern art hangs on pristine walls. The receptionist desk looks like it cost more than most cars. Victoria approaches. The receptionist is young, professional, with a name tag that reads Lisa. "Good morning, I need to see Darian Cole." Lisa's fingers pause over her keyboard. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but it's urgent. I'm Victoria Ashford." "I'm sorry, Ms. Ashford. Mr. Cole only sees people by appointment." "Please, just tell him I'm here. 5 minutes. That's all I need." Lisa looks uncomfortable. She picks up her phone, speaks quietly. Victoria can't hear the words, but Lisa glances at her twice. Lisa hangs up. "I'm sorry. Mr. Cole is in meetings all day." Victoria's stomach drops. "I'll wait." "Ma'am, he could be in meetings until 6 or 7. "I'll wait." Lisa hesitates, then nods. "There are chairs by the window." 9 in the morning. The chairs are expensive and uncomfortable. Victoria sits anyway. 9:45. Employees pass by. Some glance at her. Some do double takes. She knows they recognize her. 10:30. Lisa brings coffee. "Are you sure you want to keep waiting?" "I'm sure." 11. Victoria's back aches. She checks her phone. 42 missed calls, 37 emails. She ignores them all. Noon. She orders flowers from across the street. Expensive roses. She writes on hotel stationery, "Mr. Cole, I made a terrible mistake. I judged you before knowing you. Please give me 15 minutes to apologize in person." Victoria. She gives them to Lisa. "Can you send these up?" "I'll make sure he gets them." 12:30. Every time the elevator opens, Victoria's heart jumps. Every time it's not Darian, she sinks lower. 1 o'clock. Employees return from lunch laughing. They see Victoria. The laughter stops. They whisper as they pass. She's becoming a story. The CEO sitting in a lobby for 4.5 hours. 1:45. Lisa approaches again. "Ms. Ashford, Mr. Cole appreciates the flowers, but he's not available today." "Please." Victoria's voice cracks. "Please ask again. Tell him I flew from San Francisco. Tell him I'm not leaving until he gives me 5 minutes." Lisa looks pained. She makes another call. This one is longer. More glances at Victoria. Finally, "Mr. Cole will give you 15 minutes. Conference room B, 4th floor." And Victoria stands so fast she gets dizzy. "Thank you." The elevator ride takes forever. Conference room B is small, no windows, just a table and 6 chairs. Darian is already sitting. Gray button-down, jeans. He looks rested, calm. He doesn't stand when she enters. "Ms. Ashford, please sit." Victoria sits. Her hands shake. She clasps them in her lap. "Mr. Cole, I came here to—" He holds up one hand. "Stop. Before you apologize, I want to make something clear." His voice is quiet, controlled. "You keep saying you didn't know who I was. Like that's the problem." Victoria opens her mouth. He continues. "The problem isn't that you didn't know my net worth. The problem is you saw a black man in casual clothes and instantly decided I didn't belong." Each word lands like a hammer. "You refused to shake my hand, called security, humiliated me in front of 50 people." Silence. "If I had been a 60-year-old white man in a suit, would you have done that?" Pause. "Would you?" "No." Victoria's voice barely carries across the table. "No, I wouldn't have." That's the problem, Ms. Ashford. Not mistaken identity. Bias. Tears fill Victoria's eyes. She doesn't wipe them. "You're right, and I'm ashamed." Darian leans back. "You sat in my lobby for 3.5 hours. Yes. Yesterday you had me removed in 3 minutes." Victoria flinches. "I know." Interesting how perspectives change when you need something. The silence stretches. Victoria hears her own heartbeat. "I came to ask for a second chance," she finally says. "For my company. For 3,000 employees who lose jobs without funding. And if I say no, then I deserve that. But they don't." Darian studies her. 10 seconds. 20. 30. "I'll invest. On conditions." Victoria's breath catches. "Anything." "Don't agree until you hear them." He slides a paper across the table. Victoria reads. Her hands shake harder with every line. Public apology admitting racial profiling. Independent cultural audit. Board must be 40% diverse within 12 months. $5 million donation from her personal funds. 6 months intensive bias coaching. Quarterly progress reports. "You agree to all of this, or I walk," Darian says. "And this time, I don't come back." Victoria looks at the list, looks at him, back at the list. Her entire reputation, her pride, her position. Everything she's built her identity on. Gone. But 3,000 jobs were saved. "I agree. 48 hours to schedule the press conference. My lawyers draft the formal agreement. If the audit finds systemic discrimination, I pull out immediately, and I make the reason public." Victoria nods. She can barely breathe. "One more thing." Darian stands, meeting over. "This isn't punishment. It's about change. Real change. If you can't commit to that, tell me now." "I commit." Victoria stands. Her legs feel weak. "Thank you." Darian doesn't shake her hand. Not yet. "Don't thank me. Thank the 3,000 employees. They're the only reason I'm doing this." He opens the door. "Lisa will show you out." Victoria walks to the elevator. Her reflection in the steel doors shows someone 10 years older than yesterday. But she can breathe again. 48 hours to do the hardest thing she's ever done. Tell the truth. Day 3. Ashford Technologies headquarters. The press conference room is packed with journalists, cameras, and lights that make the air feel 10 degrees hotter. Victoria stands at the podium. No makeup artist fixed her face this morning. No PR team polished her statement. This is raw, real. Her hands grip the edges of the podium. The wood is cool under her palms. She can feel sweat forming at her hairline. 40 cameras point at her. She sees her reflection in one of the lenses. She looks small. 3 days ago, her voice shakes, I committed an act of racial profiling. Guys, someone's camera flash goes off. Then another. The room fills with clicking sounds. I refused to shake hands with Darian Cole, a black investor who traveled across the country to meet with me. I judged him based on his appearance and the color of his skin, not his credentials, not his character. I called security on him. I humiliated him publicly. Her throat tightens. She forces herself to continue. There is no excuse. This was not a misunderstanding. This was not a stressful day. This was bias. And I caused harm. A reporter in the front row is typing furiously. Another has their phone out, recording. I am committing to the following actions. Victoria reads from the paper. Her voice steadies slightly. Facts are easier than feelings. An independent audit of our company culture. Mandatory implicit bias training for all executives. Our board will be 40% diverse within 12 months. I am personally donating $5 million to organizations supporting black entrepreneurs. She looks up from the paper, makes herself meet the eyes of the journalists. I hope my failure can be a lesson. Success in business means nothing if we fail at basic human respect. The questions come fast and sharp. Will you resign as CEO? Victoria's chest tightens. I will be transitioning out of the CEO role to make space for new leadership. When? Within 30 days. Do you think this apology is enough? No. Words are never enough. Action is what matters. I'll spend the rest of my career proving I've learned from this. What would you say to other executives who might have similar biases? Victoria pauses, thinks. Examine yourself before you destroy someone else. Your assumptions have consequences, real consequences, for real people. The press conference ends. Victoria walks off the stage. Her legs feel like water. By 5 p.m., the headlines are everywhere. Bloomberg. Victoria Ashford admits racial profiling, commits to company overhaul. TechCrunch. Ashford Technologies CEO takes accountability after viral incident. New York Times. When a billionaire gets mistaken for staff, a reckoning in Silicon Valley. The board meets that evening. Emergency session. Victoria isn't invited. At 8 p.m., her phone rings. Richard, the chairman. The board voted. You're removed as CEO effective immediately. You'll stay on the board in a non-executive capacity for 6 months. After that, we'll reassess. Victoria sits in her empty office. Who's the new CEO? Dr. Marcus Brooks. He's been COO for 3 years. The board feels he has the leadership skills and vision we need. Marcus. Asian American. Brilliant. Someone she passed over twice for the CEO role because he was too quiet in board meetings. He'll be good, Victoria says quietly. He better be. You put us in an impossible position. The line goes dead. The next morning, Darian releases a statement through his spokesperson. I appreciate Ms. Ashford's public acknowledgement. Real change requires more than words. We'll be watching closely to ensure these commitments are honored. This is bigger than one incident. It's about creating lasting systemic change. Cole Ventures officially announces the $500 million investment. The merger is approved. The company is saved. Within a week, Victoria's world transforms. The speaking invitations stop. Conference organizers send polite emails canceling her panels. 3 other boards she sits on quietly ask her to resign. Her LinkedIn profile gets updated. Former CEO, Ashford Technologies. The word former feels like a scar. She tries to join 2 other boards. Both reject her. No explanations given. None needed. Silicon Valley circles buzz with the story. At a fundraiser in Palo Alto, Victoria walks into a room and conversation stops. People suddenly remember they need to be somewhere else. She leaves early, drives home through streets she's driven 1,000 times. Everything looks the same. But she's different now. Not redeemed, not forgiven, just different. The woman who had everything and lost it because she couldn't see past her own assumptions. The consequences are just beginning. 6 months later. Ashford Technologies looks different from the inside. The executive floor has new faces. The conference room where Victoria used to hold court now hosts employee resource group meetings. The Diversity Council meets every Tuesday. Their recommendations go straight to the board. Dr. Marcus Brooks stands at the front of the all-hands meeting. The auditorium is packed. Employees sit shoulder to shoulder, notebooks open, phones recording. Our independent audit is complete, Marcus says. His voice is steady, clear. The results are difficult, but necessary. He clicks to the first slide. The numbers fill the screen. 89% of executive positions are held by white employees. Black employees were promoted at 40% lower rates than white colleagues with identical qualifications. 23 HR complaints about microaggressions filed over 3 years. 21 dismissed without investigation. The room is silent. Someone coughs. Someone else shifts in their chair. This is what we were, Marcus continues. Now let me show you what we're becoming. Next slide. New numbers. Diverse candidate interviews up 67%. Promotion disparity gap narrowed to 18%. 0 HR complaints dismissed. 87% of employees say culture has significantly improved. Applause breaks out. It starts slow, then builds. In the back of the room, Victoria watches. She's no longer CEO, just a board member now, non-executive. She attends these meetings but doesn't speak. She watches Marcus lead. Watches employees who used to avoid eye contact with her now raise their hands eagerly to ask questions. This is what good leadership looks like. Netflix releases the documentary in month 2. Mistaken Identity, Race and Power in Silicon Valley. It opens with security camera footage from the 4 seasons, grainy but clear. Victoria pointing at Darian. Her mouth was moving. You can read her lips. Get this man out of here. The documentary interviews 15 people. Former Ashford employees speak with their faces in shadow, voices disguised. I was the only black woman in engineering, one says. Her voice is altered to a lower pitch. At the company holiday party, 3 different people asked if I was someone's guest. I worked there for 2 years. Another, I watched white colleagues with less experience get promoted over me. Every time I asked why, they said I wasn't leadership material yet. Code for something else. A Latino manager. I was told I was too aggressive in meetings. My white colleagues who acted exactly the same way were called assertive leaders. The documentary shows Darian too. He sits in his office, the Manhattan skyline behind him. This happens every day to people without my resources, he says. The difference is, I had the power to demand accountability. Most people don't. They just suffer in silence or leave. Victoria agreed to be interviewed. The filmmaker asked hard questions. Do you understand that what you did was racial profiling? Victoria's face fills the screen. She looks tired. Older. Yes, I saw a black man dressed casually and made an instant judgment. I didn't see a person. I saw a stereotype, and I treated him accordingly. Some people say you only apologized because you got caught. They're probably right. If Darian hadn't been a billionaire, I never would have faced consequences. That's the problem. The system protects people like me, and it shouldn't. The documentary goes viral. 12 million views in the first month. Business schools add it to their curricula. Harvard writes a case study. Stanford hosts panel discussions. Month 3 brings legal consequences. 3 former black employees file a discrimination lawsuit. They hire a top firm. The complaint is 90 pages long. It includes Victoria's emails. Subject lines like, culture fit concerns, and not quite right for us. The language is coded, but clear. One email about a black candidate, great credentials, but doesn't seem polished enough for our environment. Another about a black employee up for promotion. Talented, but I'm not sure he projects the right image for leadership. The complaint includes promotion data, charts showing disparate treatment, timeline after timeline of qualified people of color being passed over. The case settles out of court. The amount is undisclosed, but sources say 7 figures. Victoria's personal funds. Her lawyers release the statement. Ms. Ashford acknowledges past failures in leadership and is committed to making amends. The plaintiff's attorney tells reporters, money doesn't erase harm, but accountability is a start. The industry responds. 12 major tech companies announce similar audits after Ashford's report goes public. Some do it voluntarily. Some do it because their employees demand it. VC firms start requiring DEI metrics in portfolio company reports. Not suggestions. Requirements. Stanford GSB creates a new case study. Ashford Technologies, when bias becomes a business crisis. It's assigned reading in leadership courses. A conference organizer in Austin cancels 3 speakers after discovering they have similar allegations in their past. The letter says, we can't ignore these issues anymore. The Ashford case changed the standard. Victoria experiences this shift personally. At a grocery store in Pacific Heights, a woman recognizes her, walks right up to her cart. "You're Victoria Ashford. You should be ashamed of yourself." The woman walks away. Other shoppers stare. Victoria abandons her cart and leaves. At a restaurant, the hostess sees her name on the reservation. "I'm sorry, Ms. Ashford. We're actually fully booked tonight." The restaurant is half empty. Victoria can see empty tables from the door. She walks out, orders takeout instead. These moments pile up. Small rejections. Public recognition followed by judgment. The feeling of being evaluated and found wanting. It's a tiny fraction of what people of color experience daily. But it's enough to change her. She starts bias coaching. 6 months of intensive sessions with Dr. Keisha Moore, a DEI consultant. "You've been in tech 20 years, Dr. Moore says during one session. "How is this the first time you're confronting your biases?" Victoria sits in the uncomfortable chair. "I thought voting Democrat was enough. Donating to social justice causes was enough. That's passive allyship. What Darian experienced was active harm." Victoria's voice cracks. "How do I live with that?" "You live with it by changing, not performing change, being changed." Darian expands his mission. The Black Founder Fund grows to $250 million. 47 companies have been funded so far. 89% are still operating successfully. They've created 2,300 jobs. His TED Talk hits 18 million views. The title, "Dignity Shouldn't Require a Forbes Ranking." One quote becomes a meme, shared across social media. "Respect shouldn't be conditional. You don't earn the right to be treated like a human being. You're born with it." Universities invite him to speak. He accepts 12 engagements, talks to business students about bias, about power, about responsibility. At Stanford, a student asks, "Do you regret investing in Ashford after what Victoria did?" Darian pauses, thinks. "I regret that it took public humiliation for change to happen. But I don't regret giving them a chance to do better. Because the 3,000 employees deserved that chance." The student follows up. "Do you think Victoria really changed?" "I think she's trying, and that's more than most people in power ever do." The documentary ends with a split screen. Left side, security footage of Victoria refusing to shake Darian's hand. Right side, recent footage of her at a bias training, listening, taking notes. The final text reads, "Accountability is not a moment, it's practice." Fade to black. 1 year later. Same Four Seasons hotel. Same lobby with crystal chandeliers throwing rainbow patterns across marble floors. But everything else is different. Ashford Technologies is hosting its annual investor summit. The room is packed. 200 people in business attire, casual clothes, everything in between. Darian Cole walks through the entrance at 9 a.m. He's wearing a charcoal polo and pressed khakis. His portfolio is tucked under his arm. Victoria is waiting at the door, not sitting with investors, not schmoozing, waiting specifically for him. "Mr. Cole," she extends her hand. "Thank you for being here." He shakes it, firm, professional. "Thank you for the invitation, Victoria." First names. Earned over 12 months of quarterly check-ins, audit reviews, and honest conversations. Not given freely. Earned. They walk into the main conference room together. The energy is different from last year. More diverse faces, more laughter, more ease. Dr. Marcus Brooks takes the stage, the new CEO. He's been leading for 11 months now. "Welcome, everyone. This year has been transformational for Ashford Technologies." He clicks to the first slide. Revenue up 127%. The merger was successful. The company is thriving. Next slide. Employee satisfaction, 4.2 out of 5. Up from 2.8 a year ago. But numbers only tell part of the story. Marcus gestures to the audience. The real change is in this room. Look around. This is what Ashford looks like now. The executive team stands. 10 people. 4 are people of color. 5 are women. 1 uses a wheelchair. This is intentional, strategic, real. Later, there's a panel discussion. Darian and Victoria both sit on stage. A moderator from Bloomberg asks questions. Mr. Cole, a year ago you were kicked out of this hotel. Now you're on stage with the person who did it. How is that possible? Darian leans forward. Because Victoria did something rare. She took real accountability. Not a press release. Real, painful, sustained work. He looks at Victoria. That doesn't erase what happened, but it creates something new. The moderator turns. Victoria, what would you say to the person you were a year ago? Victoria is quiet for a moment. When she speaks, her voice is steady but emotional. I would say, your privilege blinded you. You harmed someone because you couldn't see past your assumptions. It took losing everything to finally see. She turns to Darian. I'm grateful you gave me and this company a second chance. But no one should need to be a billionaire to be treated with dignity. Applause fills the room. Backstage afterward, Victoria and Darian stand alone briefly. Darian, I know I've said this before, but thank you. For not just walking away. I didn't do it for you, Victoria. His voice is kind but honest. I did it for every black person who gets judged before they speak. For every person of color who has to prove their humanity before their competence. I know. And that's why it mattered. They shake hands again. This time it means something different. The Cole Ventures Black Founder Fund now manages $250 million. 47 companies funded. 89% are still operating. 2,300 jobs created. Darian's TED Talk has 18 million views. It's shown in 140 business schools worldwide. Victoria is no longer CEO. She's board chair, non-executive. She teaches 1 seminar per semester at Stanford, Unconscious Bias in Leadership. She's not redeemed, but she's changed. And sometimes, that's all anyone can ask. Darian looks directly into the camera now. His voice is calm, powerful. A year ago, a woman judged me by my skin color and my clothes. She refused to shake my hand. She had me removed from a building. Pause. She was wrong. But here's what matters. She owned it. She didn't hide behind lawyers or PR statements. She did the hard, uncomfortable work of change. This isn't a story about one bad person becoming good. It's about systems. The systems in our heads, in our companies, in our society that tell us who matters and who doesn't. Those systems don't change with one apology. They change with sustained action, with accountability, with people in power using that power to build, not exclude. He leans closer to the camera. So here's my question to you. When was the last time you made an assumption about someone based on how they looked? Have you ever walked past someone's humanity to get to a transaction? If you had Victoria's chance to make it right, would you take it? Or would you protect your ego? Pause. Let it sink in. This story went viral because it's satisfying to watch powerful people face consequences. But real change isn't entertaining. It's uncomfortable. It's daily. It's forever. Examine your own biases. Support diverse-owned businesses. Demand DEI accountability from your workplace. Share this story, but more importantly, share the lesson. Drop a comment. What would you have done in Darian's position? Have you ever been judged before you spoke? Share your story below. Subscribe for more stories where karma catches up and justice is served. Turn on notifications, because accountability never takes a day off. Dignity is not negotiable. Respect is not conditional. Change is possible, but only if you do the work. Based on real patterns of workplace discrimination. 1 in 3 black professionals report being mistaken for service staff. Your voice matters. Use it.